Caistron here from GPS Train and welcome to the latest walk and talk. We're starting our walk today in the lovely village of Rothbury, which is where GPS Train is based, and we're going to do a 13-mile circular walk with the Garmin Montana 700. Now what I'm going to do for this walk is I'm going to import what's called a GPX file, a pre-prepared file, into Garmin Basecamp and then transfer it onto the Montana 700, and I did that yesterday. So before we go for our walk, we just quickly import a GPX file. A GPX file is a file that somebody else has sent us. I'm going to use Garmin Basecamp for this. There's other software we can be using. So Garmin Basecamp, I'm not going to teach you how to use this in depth now, but you have what's called folders and lists. I've created a new list, which is Coquet Valley Challenge Walk. I now need to import the GPX file, which I've actually saved to my desktop. So I literally go to File, Import into Coquet Valley Challenge. I'm just looking for my desktop, and you'll see there's the Coquet Challenge 2024 GPX file, and literally just press import, and that imports into the Garmin Basecamp. I've got two options, option 1 and option 2. So this is when I was route planning, I was trying to work out which one was the best one. So I double click on it, it opens it up, and I can quickly make sure it's the right one that we're going to go and walk today. And then we literally can I'm actually going to just rename this, right click and rename it. And then I'm going to right click, send to device. It sees the Montana is attached to it, and I'm just going to tick those 3 boxes and send it. And now it's sent onto the GPS device. If you want a quick double check, just click on Montana 700 at the top. And there you are, it's showing the internal memory of the GPS unit. I can see the Coquet Valley Challenge Walk is on there. And now we have that GPX file on the GPS unit, we need to start the day's walking. Now what do we do on the GPS unit? We calibrate the compass, reset the trip and track data, and load that track that we just preloaded onto the GPS unit with Garmin Basecamp. So to reset the trip and track data on the Montana, we just press the power button lightly on the side, tap on the activity at the top, and we can see that it's paused, everything's 0. We just press that, and you can see we're starting to record that track. And then we need to load that track. So we press the magnifying glass, where to, select tracks. There's the Coquet Valley Challenge Walk at the top. Overlays it on the map. As you can see, there it is, 22.8 kilometers. I have to change that to miles once I get going. Overlays it, you can just confirm it's the right track, and we just press go down the bottom. And then we get the arrow on the screen, and what do? We follow the arrow either on the top of the map page or alternatively on the compass page, and it gives us all the data at the top, what time we're going to get to the end and how long it is to the next track point. So as we climb up, we've got the Cheviot behind us, so you can see, fingers crossed, you can see there's just a little bit of cloud on the Cheviot, which is the highest point in Northumberland. So right of it is Hedgehope, which looks a little bit high, but is the second highest summit in Northumberland. So lovely views of the Cheviot Hills behind us, but I'm climbing up onto the top of Simonside. The key thing with the Montana has to be the screen size. You're either going to love it or hate it. When the Montana first came out, a lot of people opened the box in those first few years and went, "Wow, it's a big GPS unit, a 5-inch diagonal screen." But once you get used to it, there's some massive benefits of this large screen. Key thing is the shortcuts down the bottom. You can quickly go from one page to the next, and also when you've got the map at a reasonable, you can zoom in and out of the map, but you're looking 3, 4, 5 kilometers ahead of yourself rather than 2.5 kilometers ahead when using a smaller GPS unit. 15 hours of battery life, and the built-in battery was interchangeable. It's the only Garmin GPS unit with this interchangeable battery life. But 15 hours is enough for most people when they're out walking for a day. Now today I'm wearing my lightweight rucksack. I kind of thought, how is this going to manage with my lightweight rucksack? Because there's a very thin band around the waist. But I put the carry case on there and it sits absolutely superbly. Actually, it sits a little bit higher than my other rucksack, because that band's a little bit higher on it, and it really is dead easy. You've got the weight round your waist, you hardly know it's there, and in some ways it's better than having a GPS unit up here where I would normally carry my Garmin GPS Maps Series GPS unit. Overall, a stunning GPS unit. So much easier to use with this touchscreen, and you may have seen some videos we've done before. The touchscreen works with gloves on, it works when it's wet and it's raining, so it is a proper outdoor GPS unit. Last time I did a walk and talk with this unit, I actually went to the Cheviot highest point in Northumberland with it in a yellow weather warning to see how it performed in really quite extreme conditions, and it was absolutely faultless. So overall, best large screen GPS unit currently on the market if you are failing in those eyes and you want a large screen. The other thing as well is, because it's such a big GPS unit, you can actually do everything on the unit, so you can plan your routes directly on the unit. You can also transfer using what's called a Connect app. So again, you can transfer your routes over using your mobile phone or a tablet. So if you don't have a PC or a Mac, you can actually utilize this GPS to its full potential. But it's one of the few units that you can really build and create a route directly on the unit successfully, because you've got a touch screen, you can drag the map, touch and create your waypoints directly on that unit. On our courses that we do around the country, our GPS training courses, the Montana users are usually top of the class, often not down to their own ability, but down to how easy this GPS unit is to use. So if you're a bit worried about technology, you will not go far wrong with a Montana 700, because it's just a great, easy GPS unit to use. So we've got most of the climbing out the way. We've just got a last bit to climb up onto the top of Simonside, but most climbing is out of the way. Now, a nice little story for you here. The path that we're walking on, we actually paid for a small part of it. So people know, or you may not know, that GPS training is part of a company called Shepherd's Walks Limited. And I set that company up in 1999 because I was a hill shepherd and I started writing walking guides from a shepherd's perspective. You can actually get those now from the Shepherd's Walks website. Just go to shepherdswalks.co.uk and you can download them from there. But anyway, these walking guides I also sold through tourist information centres and other retailers. They were £6 a pack they were, and £1 from each pack I put into footpath restoration to try and put something a little bit back into the countryside and look after it in a bit more of a sustainable manner. So many years ago I donated quite a large amount of money that was put towards some of this path that is built on the top of Simonside. So, reached the summit of Tosson Hill, absolutely beautiful. The first part of the walk as we came over Simonside actually was quite busy, there's quite a few people around, but now it's lovely and quiet. So since I've left those, dropped down off the top of the Simonside Hills, I've not seen a soul. It's absolutely beautiful. Looking down across the Coquet Valley, the Cheviot Hills in the far distance, you see the River Coquet winding its way down the valley, Thropton there. Rothbury's right over the far side. We can't see it, Rothbury, as we see. And Cliff Heppel, yeah, Heppel's there, isn't it? So you can see the bridge. This is Heppel here as well. The little road bridge, if we can see it. We're going to just carry on along here, drop down, and we're going to follow that all the way back on. Still got a fair bit of walking to go, and it's actually 1:45 in the afternoon, so I need to get my finger out, get moving, because it's going to be dark at 5 o'clock this evening. But you've got to sit back and savour these stunning views, don't you? So have a quick look around this stunning large screen GPS unit. As I said earlier on, you got your shortcuts down the bottom. We're on the main menu, map page. Map page is the page that we're on quite a lot of the time when we're navigating. Got the compass rose at the top. This pink line is the track that we're navigating along, and this little red line is the track of where we've been walking. Now you'll notice the arrow is actually pointing in the wrong direction, because we should be walking this way, and because we've been walking along here. The reason for that is because this has been quite a poorly created track. We've actually not gone over the top of our last track point, so it's not logged on to the next one. Now what will happen is it will actually, as we carry on walking, it will work out what we're done and automatically log on to the next track point. So again, if your arrow's pointing the wrong direction, just jump onto this map page and understand why. Look at the map and understand why that's the case. You'll usually find it if you navigate, as most people do, on the compass page, which has a big arrow and gives you the information at the top. Usually when you're on that, you can jump on and go, why is the arrow pointing the wrong direction? Best thing is just to jump onto the map page and understand by looking at the map, looking at the pre-planned track in our case, and also where we are, why that is the case. And we've got the trip computer page, tells you, all these are completely interchangeable. You can literally just change these and have whatever you want, but it's got the how far we've walked, estimate time of destination, etc, etc. And then finally, the magnifying glass is how I first found this track, because we're navigating a track. Our only option is to stop navigation, or we could find another track there. So it's really simple. As I say, it's Wi-Fi enabled as well. Bluetooth. Well, it says Wi-Fi enabled. It's also Bluetooth onto your mobile phone or your tablet. So again, you can wirelessly transfer that data over. If you have it paired with your mobile phone, you'll get your smart notifications on here as well. So we've got things like live weather on this main menu as well. So again, you can look at the live weather, your smart notifications. Let's just have a look on the satellite page. There's our 10-feet grid reference, exactly where we are. 8 feet accuracy, and this has actually been set up to use both Galileo and the GPS. The Galileo is the European satellite, which is the most accurate, and then the GPS is the American system. It shows the accuracy, grid reference, NZ being the sheet number, then a 10-figure grid reference. BNG stands for British National Grid. So we've just dropped down off the hilltop there, back into the lower, what we call the Ian Byland, isn't it really? And we come across these ponies. Now this farm that we're coming through now is what's called rewilding. So if any of you know what that is, it's removed the livestock from the land, opening the gates initially, just letting everything just run free, and they've got these ponies on the land to try and help manage it. Now, since I last passed through here, they've actually taken down a lot of the field boundaries. So you can see or not, this tree line here that's behind me, what used to be fenced in, now those boundaries have gone, and the ponies just run free and do what they want to do. So yeah, I'm really interested in your thoughts on rewilding. You can leave a comment in the comment box below. But it's quite interesting really, as I said, as a former shepherd. It's actually quite interesting to see what happens when remove all the livestock off the land. But I'm a bit baffled why you put ponies on, but perhaps somebody can help me in the comment box below why that is the case. I know I've led a few walks through here in the past and doing my little bit of research on it, and I'm listening to the archers as well, and there's rewilding going on in the archers. So yeah, interested to know your thoughts on it, but they are very pretty ponies anyway, aren't they? What an absolutely stunning time of the year. What wonderful autumn colours we've got here in Northumberland. It's been a very wet autumn, but over the last week it's thankfully dried out a little bit, so it's been really nice. So heading down again, having to keep a move because move on just because I'm going to lose light otherwise. I've got my head torch with me, so it should be all right. We've still got a canny few miles to go. Now the one thing with the Montana 700, it really benefits those people who also often don't want to plan everything before they go out walking. So if you've been watching my walking talks, the majority of the time I plan my walk on Garmin Basecamp or our free route planning software before I go, and then I literally just follow an arrow on the screen. And then you would question, well, actually, with a large screen unit, I'm following a large arrow, with a small screen unit, I'm following a small arrow. Is that important? But if you're one of those people who says, well, actually, I often go out on a walk and change my plans. I plan on the hoof as such. I kind of want to see what's around me. I might go to another summit. I may go and explore a specific area. That's when that larger screen really comes into its own, because we've got that larger area we can see on the screen. So traditionally you would have rolled out your paper map and you can see what's around you. You would have planned, I'm going to go there, I'm now going to go there. This larger screen GPS unit really benefits those people. So even if you're walking with groups and you just want to see where you are, Montana 700 certainly ticks those boxes. Just look at that screen. Do you know, bright sunshine on a Garmin GPS screen is absolutely second to none, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. So again, do you know, people look at these screens in shops or in their offices at home or something along those lines, but where they should be seen in all the glory is out in the sunshine. So there we are, down at the bottom of the map. It's heading across there is to Caistron Lake. So I'm just about to cross the River Coquet to Thropton. So this is one of the river crossings. A lovely thing about Montana, any GPS unit at this time of year is we also have a field on that we can make it so we can see what time the sun's going to set. Because we're navigating this track in our case, the GPS is telling me what time we're going to get to the end, which is 4:35. And it also tells me what time the sun's going to set, which is 4:15. So you can make that judgment. Now, usually once the sun sets, you do get another 15, 20, half an hour, minutes, 15, 20 minutes or half an hour before it goes properly dark, depending on really a cloud cover. So it's very clear at the moment, so hopefully we'll get a really nice long dusk before it goes dark. So it's nice because you can tailor that requirements and also plan, because if you are going walking into the dark, you may have seen some of my other walking talks where I do walk into the dark. You know, it's best to prepare, isn't it? You know, get yourself ready, get your hat on, get your gloves on, get your head torch out, rather than walking in the dark and going, oh, I'm going to do all this, now it's pitch black. So it gives you that bit of preparation time. So I would always say, you know, like when the GPS is saying it's going to go darker, 4:15, that's when you should be stopping, thinking about getting your kit on, you know, put your extra layers on, because especially this time of year it's going to get very, very cold, isn't it? So yeah, some extra information there. So yeah, you can see the smoke here. I don't think you can see it. It's kind of settling behind us in the field. It's kind of I'm no meteorologist, but high pressure or low pressure, I don't know which one it is, where you get the settlement of the smoke in this case, or the cloud in the bottom of the valley. So I think there's going to be a lovely morning if that is the case. A cloud inversion, but this time with smoke from a fire more than likely. So house fire, not a house fire, but a coal fire, you know what I mean. Anyway, going on. Right, so we're just going to head through Thropton, and then from Thropton we climb up a little bit and then just skirt off and head back in to Rothbury. So just as the sun is setting in the distance, we can look back on the Simonside Ridge. So I actually climbed up, went all the way along that Simonside Ridge, all the way down, dragged down, and then come along the valley bottom to where we are now. So a lovely walk. That's one thing though, is my 13-mile walk is currently 13.5 miles in length. So maybe I need to spend a little bit more time, and I'll give a little bit more attention to the route planning process to actually check how far distances are. Maybe this is why I end up walking on my own an awful lot, because nobody likes my optimism of, it's going to be 13 miles, won't it? So I think by the time we get back, it's going to be near 15 miles, but that's okay, that's all right. Routes, tracks, and courses. These are the three things we can navigate. So Traditionally, we would navigate a route. A route is a collection of waypoints that have been joined together. So, normally when you're planning a route, you plan on our free route planning software or Garmin Basecamp, and you plan a route. And a route takes you in a straight line from waypoint to waypoint. As you go over the top of a waypoint in a route, the GPS will give you an audible beep. But the problem with a route is you are limited to 250 waypoints, or they're called via points of planning Garmin Basecamp. And therefore, a lot of people have shied away from routes because they don't know that you are limited to 250 waypoints. They go and plan their coast-to-coast walk. They put it into the GPS unit, try and load it. It says there's too many waypoints in it. Now, with this audible beep as you go across a waypoint, the nice thing is that your GPS is drawing your attention to a junction, because you come to a junction, you'll have a waypoint, give you an audible beep, you get your GPS unit out and look which direction that you're going to go. Now, with the downside of 250 waypoints, a lot of event organisers and other people sharing routes started using tracks. Now, tracks traditionally are what we'll be recording when we're out walking. So when we look at the GPS unit, you'll see the track which the GPS is leaving behind us. And that is, so at the end we can save a record of our trip, or alternative, at any point we can do what's called a track back and say to the GPS, take us back the way I've come. But you can navigate a track at a later date. So a lot of people now have started planning tracks and navigating them as we've been doing today, because we've been planning it, well, we've been wrecking ahead of an event next year. So with a track, you use a silent navigation, because traditionally a track would have been the breadcrumb of where you've been. So every few seconds your GPS says, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And if you had an audible beep every time you had a track point, it would be beeping at you all the time. So it's a silent navigation. So if you're doing a track back or navigating a track like we have been doing today, it's a silent navigation. But the key thing is with the track is we can have up to 20,000 track points. So this is the reason why a lot of long distance trails, people give you tracks for it, or if you're doing an event, people will give you a track for it. So that's a track. Silent navigation, 20,000 track points. And then finally, a course. So a course is very, very similar to track, but if you send it from the Connect app or the Explore app, not getting too confusing, from your mobile phone onto your GPS unit, it sends it as a course. That's because watches tend to use courses, which is slightly different file type. So a lot of the GPS units are now compatible with courses. So that's the main difference in a route. A route has an audible beep every time it comes to a waypoint. A track is a silent navigation, and a course is very similar than a track. Well, who would have thought we'd finishing off my walk and talk in the dark under a street lamp? There you are. So, because we've got to the end of our track, it actually just stops navigating. When it hits the end, it just automatically stops. It does. If it didn't stop, you can just press the magnifying glass where to and stop navigation. And then the final thing we need to do is just save that track. So just press the power button lightly on the side. There's the activity top, 5 hours 34. We can just tap on that. That's how long we've been going for. 15.17 miles, 5 hours 34. So you just press the pause button and it stops. And then we just press the floppy disk and that saves that track. So trip time 5 hours 34. Moving average 3.2. And then we just either press the rubbish bin or the floppy disk down the bottom right hand corner, and that exports and saves that. And that's actually saved within that unit. Everything's back to zero, ready to press the record button when we start next time. So at the end of the day's walking, if your track hasn't stopped, just press the magnifying glass where to stop navigation, and press the power button lightly on the side, go into the activity and save the track, which is the record of your trip. So I very much hope you've enjoyed the latest walk and talk from myself, John, from GPS Training, this time with the Montana 700. If we can help you in any way, please do get in touch. If you get any thoughts or feedback about this video or any of our videos, again, just leave a comment in the comment box below. And the key thing is go to our website, gpstraining.co.uk, and there's loads of free stuff on there to help you get to grips with your GPS unit. And if you can, subscribe to our online resources. Our online resources are it's our training platform, which has, I think it's 55 training videos for how to use the Montana 700. That'd be really appreciated. And if you can join myself or my colleague Andy, one of the courses we do around the country, that'll be fantastic. We do GPS training courses from from the South Downs, New Forest, all the way up in Scotland, everywhere in between. So we spend our lives traveling around the country, teaching wonderful people how to use their GPS units. Again, get in touch with ourselves with any questions. And again, many thanks for watching the latest walk and talk with myself, John, from GPS Trading.